Have you ever had somebody ask you why you like something so childish? What you see in something that's clearly meant for kids and why you haven't grown out of it? Well, you wouldn't guess it now, but me and our Blue Boy Sonic, we had kind of a strained relationship. As a kid, I loved Sonic. Sonic 3 was one of the first games I played. As a teenager, Sonic became my introduction to music, where I'd take the tape recorders and put them up to the TV speakers so that I could get a copy of the Hang Castle music. The Sonic Heroes vocal themes were listened on repeat before I even owned a single CD. Sonic defined my relationship to fandom, my sense of aesthetics, but despite that, I tried to discard Sonic in my attempts to become an adult. People told me Sonic was childish, immature, the stories were laughable, it didn't make a good transition to 3D, and maybe it was just never good. It was time to grow up and start playing games for adults. Games that take the artistic potential of the medium seriously, I was told. And for a while, I fell into that trap. I took games deadly serious. I dug into the post-9/11 ideology of military shooters, waxed on about games that replicated the everyday struggles of capitalism, and just getting deep into the weeds of all the politics, the discourse. Every encounter, every memory you have becomes a story, becomes something to mine. I read a lot more as part of my effort to grow, and I found other people talking about Sonic, and as I read them, I wondered if in my haste to grow as a critic, maybe I'd thrown away something that was important to me? So I began to visit those spaces that I dismissed before, those games that I'd written off. And then I revisited the ones that previously meant so much to me. I meditated in them, I photographed them, and I wrote about it. All of this gave me an appreciation of both the series and the character. Ironically, returning to Sonic taught me how to appreciate the scenery, how to slow down, and become familiar with the strange ways that each of its places connected. But aside from its unassailable pop aesthetics and killer soundtracks, there's nothing consistent about Sonic. It's both a source of wonder and frustration. Sonic is doomed to forever be compared to Nintendo's mustachioed plumber. There's now adults who've never seen a Sega Genesis, who've only lived with Sonic games on Nintendo consoles, but despite that, no old man can resist telling their console war stories and forever trotting out dead marketing slogans for easy jokes.
Yeah, what if you don't have blast processing?
But the reality is, Sonic has a lot more in common with another Nintendo mascot, Kirby. Maybe it's because they're both ball-shaped, but both characters have a long series of radical experimentation across styles and genres. Kirby's been in pinball, pseudo mini-golf, split into 10 Kirbys, flown hoverboards, turned into yarn, turned into clay, got into fistfights, and played Puyo Puyo. And Sonic's been in Pinball, a Flicky sequel, flown hoverboards, driven cars, got into fistfights, and played Puyo Puyo. Unlike Kirby, Sonic doesn't have a stable foundation. Sega treats him like a American comic book character, just a compilation of iconography and mythology left to be interpreted by whatever team happens to have their hands on him at the moment. There's a few core ideas to build upon, but the series has run so long and appealed to so many different generations of people that it means nobody can agree what makes a good entry in the series. Sonic's an ideological discussion, not a quantifiable one, which means that it's hard to have a discussion when nobody will agree on what the terms are. So people react not critically, but reflexively. New games are dismissed outright, and then the defenders will show up, and people will take their defensiveness as proof that anybody who enjoys the games can't be capable of any intelligent thought. It's a special kind of discourse that can only happen in video games. Unexamined arguments just trotted out again and again. Muddied in corporate tribalism that can only come from a culture that's so deeply tied to consumerist identity. But even with all of that aside, Sonic has one overriding major flaw. Sonic is stupidly and blissfully unaware. Not necessarily the games or the people who make them, but the character himself. Sonic's first words in Sonic Adventure are,
"Oh yeah! This is happening!"
And as Delaney Stewart points out on his essays about Sonic Adventure and Sonic 06, Sonic basically dissipates any gravitas or seriousness in a situation. Other characters are there instead to stand in and to remind him about the gravity of events. And then Sonic continues on anyway, with the same confidence and bravado only a teenager could have. This is his best quality. In a world dominated by postmodern thought, irony has become one of our most valuable tools for new media. Whether it's painting, comedy, online headlines, or endless memes, the modern world has trained us to engage with everything from an ironic stance. We mask vulnerability with it, perform an affect of detachment to show that we're free of naivety. In an environment like that, it becomes dangerous to show sincerity. To engage openly and wholeheartedly is a good way to put a target on yourself. And Sonic the Hedgehog is painfully, wonderfully sincere. Sonic is earnest in the way that only a teenager can be, where novelty is king and your expectations haven't been weighed down by the cynicism of adulthood. Sonic's an emotional reality where every feeling exists as its maximum expression. Sonic's the type of character who we've been told has been tortured for months, only for him to show up making jokes in the next scene. Sonic is so earnest that it only feels right that his box art has messages to tell you to live for the moment, to live a life of power, or else you'll carry regret and watch the sun laugh at you. Sonic runs even faster when powered by friendship, which is so powerful that it causes rock songs to play at every single climax. Sonic has the power of God and anime on his side. Bring any cynicism or irony to Sonic and it falls apart. Sonic refuses to be anything but earnest or positive in the worst of times. That's not something we have time for today. It comes off as shallow, empty. But when I put that cynicism aside, engaged with the character openly and earnestly, I found that there was a lot that I love and a lot that I'd forgotten that I loved. Even more, I found that there was plenty that I'd never seen before and tons of fresh things to explore and appreciate. There's something deeply comforting about running around in Sonic's world. Something full of joyous, infinite energy. Finding it just required me to be honest and let myself care again. I guess what I'm trying to say is, open your heart and you will see.